If you're watching, fucking hell. If you're watching this, you're probably white with pretty shit genetics, and because of that, you're probably not trying to look like the Hulk or anything, but you still want a really good physique. And the good news about that is it's not actually that hard, and it's also especially pretty fucking simple. So here's how you can do that. I'm also not a massive Nigerian bodybuilder or anything like that, but I'm pretty well built, so I feel like I can give you a good opinion on how to do that and achieve the same thing. There's essentially two things that you have to achieve in order to build a really good physique. The first one of those things is just muscle mass. Fucking muscle mass, right? You need a high muscle mass, otherwise you can't look shredded. You can't look like one of those lean guys who's like kind of aesthetic. Those guys are actually more jacked than you think. So you absolutely essentially need to have a high muscle mass, otherwise you're just not going to get anywhere. People overcomplicate the shit out of having a high muscle mass, but all you really have to do, if you break it down super fucking simply, is train hard and eat protein. That means you get gains, right? But something people mistake quite often, let me get my red marker real quick. They think that to get fucking massive, you need to do like 20 sets per muscle, but that's fucking bullshit. You don't have to do that. You just have to train hard, which means to train hard, all you have to do is hit 4 to 8 hard sets per week. Doing that means that you pick a handful of really effective exercises. Bench press, squat, dips, pull-ups, shit like that. Really fucking effective. You can build a lot of strength and a lot of muscle with them. You pick those and you do them consistently, and you lift heavy and you train to failure very often. Doing that, very fucking simple, bro. Eating enough protein and doing that, you will gain a shit ton of muscle and get great fucking results, alright? So that's the first part. Train hard. Go into failure 4 to 8 sets. A lot of people don't actually realize what failure is. That's why a lot of people fuck this up, right? A lot of people think failure is when you think in your brain, oh, I can't do any more reps, bro. I'm fucked now. Bullshit, bro. A lot of people don't realize going to failure is literally when your body can't fucking do it anymore. Luckily, there's people like David Goggins who just tell everybody to go hard as shit now. And a lot of people know that you really want to push as hard as you can until complete failure where you don't have anything more to give. So the fact that that's pretty common knowledge now is good, but I still see a lot of people fucking this up. So make sure you know that it's when your muscles can't physically give enough. It's not about your brain, it's when your muscles cannot give any more. Not a single rep more. Like when I was trying to bench earlier, bro, I couldn't fucking get another rep after that. I barely got that rep. I could have fucking killed myself, but like I probably wouldn't, because just roll it. It sucks, but whatever. Failure means you can't get another rep, alright? That's what it means. Ha 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 ha. That shit keeps falling. Here's an example of a really great training plan. You can steal this if you want. It's super fucking simple, but the way this is composed is really effective, right? Firstly, you have bench 4 to 10 reps for 3 sets. You're going to get fucking tired from this already. Then you're going into incline dumbbell press. That's going to isolate it more. In the bench, you're lifting heavy. You see all the guys who are really fucking aesthetic. You see David Lade, fucking Lex Little, right? If you know these guys, they're really fucking strong, but they're like the aesthetic guys. Everyone thinks that they train like bodybuilders, but actually, they're fucking powerlifters, right? So what they do is they hit a heavy exercise like bench, and then they go into something like the incline dumbbell press, right? Or they might do chest flies, which is absolutely an isolation exercise, not at all a powerlifting fucking exercise at all. You're literally like pulling cables, bro. No power lifter is saying, yeah, I'm gonna compete on cables, bro. It's not a thing. After that, seated overhead press and lateral raises. So that's your chest and shoulder day. It means that you've basically got one heavy exercise for each muscle group, and then you have one which is more isolation, but you still should go pretty heavy and like challenge yourself on these exercises. Not saying anyone's going to be really lateral raising 20 kilograms effectively. You're just working traps at that point, but you get the idea. Next, we've got back and arm day, which is pull-ups, dips, seated incline dumbbell curls, and dumbbell skull crushers. Same thing again, bro. You can overload dips a lot. You can overload pull-ups a lot. Like, you see some people dipping with like 100 kilograms plus. I saw this 15-year-old on Instagram the other day. He was dipping 100 kilograms. That's fucking insane. So you can lift heavy as shit on these exercises if you build it up. Then obviously you got the seated incline dumbbell curls, isolating your biceps. Trust me, this shit will feel like you're about to rip that shit off the bone, which means it's quality, right? Obviously don't go fucking too heavy and actually tear your bicep, but that shit is good as hell for your biceps. Then you've got dumbbell skull crushers, because that shit just slaps, honestly. Other exercises make your elbows hurt if you've got bad elbows, or like your wrists hurt and shit like that, but because it's single-handed, they're not like put in some weird unnatural position, and you can do it so that your hands are separate. It just feels way better on your joints, so give that one a try. But do it heavy, bro. Don't fucking pussy out on that shit. For leg day, honestly, people overcomplicate the shit out of that. If you do 5 sets of squats hard, right, heavy shit, where like you maybe can't get 2 more reps, then honestly, your legs are going to be pretty fucked after that. Then you add in Romanian deadlifts as well. You're not going to be walking the next day. If you do that shit hard, you're going to be fucked up, all right? There's no two ways about that. Training hard on these exercises is going to do you well, honestly. If you steal that training plan or you do any other training plan, go to failure on every set. A lot of people will say this isn't a good idea. They'll say it's overtraining, going to failure on every set. But bro, if it's fucking too much and you're sore for like 5 days afterwards, take a set off, bro. You're training less time and you're getting effective volume in. You're getting sore as shit, which means your muscles are stimulated as hell, right? So there's no such thing as overtraining on this shit. Go to failure on every set. If it's too much, just take away a set, bro. It's all good. You'll train hard. You're maximizing your time in the gym. You're maximizing your set. And you're maximizing the weight you're moving. Always go to failure as long as it's not going to kill you on like a squat or some shit. Alright, so every fitness influencer that you look up to has this high muscle mass to start with, right? That's one of the most important things they have. But there's another key essential thing that makes them look fucking sick. And is the reason that you and maybe other people actually kind of look like shit, right? Even if your high muscle mass is shit, you're strong as hell, you can still look like ass if you don't have this thing. Low body fat percentage. All of these guys are absolutely peeled. They've got like abs year round and shit like that. That's the reason they look sick. You're not going to be proud of the way you look because your muscle mass if you can't fucking see it. So you've got to get a low body fat percentage. How do we do this? Before I get into how to actually lose weight, we need to go into how to build that muscle with your diet first and how to understand bulking, right? Because you need to make a decision when you start. You're either going to cut or you're going to bulk. For most people, I think that you should bulk, right? Because when you're starting out, you don't really have a lot of muscle yet. It's good to actually make some good progress in those early days before you even think about cutting. There is an exception to this rule, right? If you're fat, you're genuinely overweight, like where I started a few years ago like that, I needed to lose some weight first. Because if I bulked from there, bro, I'm just like a fucking land whale at that point, right? I could cut, but if I'd bulked from there, I'd be left with like a shit ton of loose skin and stuff like that. So if you're a guy like that, then okay, cut, right? Lose some weight first. But otherwise, you should bulk and put on a good amount of muscle mass. Because I was in a situation before I started where I was skinny fat. So I still looked fat to myself. When I was in the mirror, bro, I still had a belly. And oftentimes I still do have a belly if I'm bulking, right? But back then I'd look in the mirror, I saw I was skinny and I had a belly. I was like, what the fuck do I do? Do I keep trying to lose more weight and just get lean first? Or do I bulk and try and gain some muscle? Luckily, I decided to bulk because if I just kept trying to lose weight, I would have become a pencil, bro. I wouldn't have had any muscle mass on my frame at all. And I would have looked like shit. And it would have been hard to make progress from that point. So when you're starting, I think it's really important for most people that they realize that they should bulk and put on some mass before they decide to cut. Because otherwise you literally have nothing to reveal. There's no fucking point in cutting if you've got nothing there to show for it. When you're bulking, you need to aim for a certain amount of weight gain each week. Generally, this is going to be between 0.5 to 1 pound per week. If you're in England like me, that's 250 grams to 500 grams per week, right? So that's like half a kilo, right? When you're doing this, this means that you can actually make good progress, but without gaining a shit ton of fat. So it's good for your health and it's good for your progress as well. You're going to gain mostly muscle during that process. Weigh yourself every single day of the week in the morning after you take a shit, and then average that out over the week because it's going to fluctuate a bunch. So you want to get like a good average that's stable and it's going to be representative of your actual progress. When they're trying to lose weight, people will make literally any excuse to not actually hit their goal. They'll say, oh, my metabolism is slow. We all know that's fucking bullshit. Your metabolism might be slow, but let's be real. Are you training 2+ hours a day? No, right? Not fucking training 2 hours a day. Do you just eat when you're hungry? Like, fucking probably. So motherfuckers need to write no next to this shit and yes to this shit and realize that they're actually probably not doing all the shit that they need to do. They're probably slacking, right? The reason people have high metabolisms is because they have high muscle mass. It's because they move a lot, bro. Having a high metabolism means that generally day to day, just existing, you burn more calories. This is why a construction worker, that motherfucker probably has a high metabolism because day to day, he's just moving around constantly, right? It's not about having a fucking high metabolism when you're sitting around, right? Some athletes might develop that over the years, but most people aren't going to fucking have that, right? It's not that complicated, all right? Everybody knows burn more than you consume. This means you need to fucking not eat a shit ton of food and a shit ton of calories and just be active and be healthy, right? Just be a healthy human. This shit's just good for you, right? Eat for protein. Protein's not just good for your gains, it's good for your health as well. If you start eating for protein instead of eating because you're hungry, right? This means that you're not going to overeat calories because your goal is, I want to get this protein in. And fucking newsflash, that food is actually fucking tastier than eating fast food. In my opinion, bro, I'd rather eat some chili con carne that I made at home than have some buffalo chicken wings with some loaded fries. That stuff actually tastes weird to me because I'm just raised on fucking healthy food. Train hard, right? I don't know if you can see this because that shit is in the way, but if you train hard, you're burning way more calories than you realize, not only because of the actual session, but afterwards, to build that muscle, to repair your body, you're burning calories. This is like basically having a higher metabolism, right? So it's okay to be hungry. When you're losing weight, there are going to be points when you're hungry. It's not that deep. If you actually want to achieve your goal, then it's okay to be hungry. It's okay to be hungry a few hours of the day for 30 minutes. You're going to eat something at some point, right? And being hungry is honestly like kind of a motivator, because it puts your brain into like work mode to go and search for fucking achievement and goals. So honestly, being hungry is kind of a good thing. So if you want to actually achieve your goals, it's okay to be hungry, bro. So fucking be hungry, train hard, do this good shit, burn more than you consume, and eat for protein. And you'll manage to lose weight. You'll lose fat, bro. I'm telling you. To help your fat loss journey along, you should just do some simple cardio. This is things like 20 minutes of light jogging, cycling and walking. If you do that every day, then you're pretty much set. You can also do partner cardio with your gym bro, if you know what I'm saying. We all have a bit of that. When you do this, it's just going to help you burn those extra few calories, and it's also really good for your health in general. If you did this, you get like 150 minutes of cardio a week. That's quite a lot. That's pretty good for your heart health, your longevity. So you'll live a long time, which means you can keep those gains for longer. So generally, you should do this. Even if you're bulking, it's also a good idea. But cutting, this will just put you over the edge and mean that you have a slight competitive advantage. I mean, you're basically going to burn a few hundred extra calories a week that other people maybe aren't if they're not doing their cardio. According to Mike Mentzer, if you do light jogging or something like that, which means you can still talk and have a conversation whilst you're doing it, if you do that, you burn about 10 calories a minute, according to him. He's looked into a lot of research. He's a scientist, right, from back in the day, but he's an OG if you search him up. Mike Mentzer says that, so if you did 20 minutes of light jogging a day, that's 200 extra calories that you wouldn't have burned otherwise. That could be enough to put you in a deficit, right? If you were literally eating at maintenance and you decided, I'm just going to add in 20 minutes of jogging a day, you would lose fat, bro. You would lose fat. So if you do that and combine it with a slight caloric deficit of maybe 200 to 500 calories, then you're definitely going to lose a significant amount of weight each and every week. If you just switch your brain off and you follow the principles that I've told you in this video, then you're definitely going to make a lot of progress. If you rinse and repeat this cycle of bulking and cutting, which means 4 to 16 weeks of bulking and then 1 to 2 months of cutting, and then you just repeat that and keep gaining more and more muscle, you're going to really quickly get to where you want to be. Within the span of your first cut, so you bulk for the first couple of months, 4 to 16 weeks, and then you have your first cut. At the end of that cut, you're definitely going to see a body that you didn't even know you could have, pretty much. It's going to be like a massive revelation to you, because I'll tell you, from the first time that I bulked, right, I was bulking and I was like, bro, I fucking look like shit right now. And at that point I was like, okay, well, if I want to keep bulking, then I need to lower my body fat again, because I got a bit too fat. It's not optimal for your health or even for gaining muscle. So I cut, and when I cut, I was like, holy fucking shit, there is so much underneath that fat that you don't even realize you've got. So after that cycle of bulking and then cutting really quickly, that's like a few months of training, right? After your second cycle of this training program, right, which is about a year, you're going to have a physique that you didn't know you could have. It's honestly going to be so impressive. It's going to blow your mind low-key, because the things that people don't understand are naturally possible. It's just a bit unfortunate, to be honest, because you can actually get a really good physique in just a year of training. It's all about having, like, the principles I told you from the start of this video: high muscle mass and a low body fat. If you have that, then you're going to look fucking great. So super simple. Just do this, switch your brain off, follow these cycles, follow this training method, and you will absolutely get to where you want to be. If you're wanting to look at that example program that I put up on that slideshow earlier, I put a link down below to this cool app where you can set workout plans and you can share them with people. It's really cool. So you can look at that program down there. And in the pinned comment, I'm going to put my Instagram, so you can reach out to me if you like. You can send me a message, whatever you want. And hopefully, if you enjoyed this video, if you like this content, stay tuned for more. I'll have new videos out like this very, very soon. Have a nice day, bro.